The appeal was made after the minister toured the Ridge, La and Lekma hospitals to assess the impact of the doctor strike. At the La General Hospital, Acting Medical Director Dr. Nihat Salifu explained doctors are available to offer care to pregnant women, inpatients and children.
We are trying to provide the essential service to pregnant women and children, and then we are also able to do some cover for adults as well. When they come, they get on our doorstep.
But the OPD was deserted. The La General Hospital serves a lot of communities around, but as you can see here, this place is usually always choked, but today is virtually empty. It's deserted by the patient. Look at the OPD emergency, the emergency room. In fact, the nurses station is also empty because there is no doctor here to take care of patients. The situation was the same at the Ridge Hospital, where Head of Clinical Services, Dr. Emmanuel Srefanyo, told Joy News they are not defying the GMA directive, but will continue to offer care. The OPD at the Lekma Hospital was deserted. No doctor was on duty to attend to pregnant women who had come for care. Cecilia Anaba is a midwife here.
Cases that is serious and they have to see the doctors, we were asked to refer them to Manor Hospital 37 or Police Hospital. But when they come, there was no doctor, so we were asked to send them to 37 Military Hospital, Police Hospital or Manor Hospital, yes.
Yeah. And so you have been helping these women over the years. How does it make you feel that at a point in time you can't offer that help to them because there's no doctor to assist?
Yeah, so we're not happy. As a midwife, I know what will be the outcome of when somebody is in trouble and she's not able to see the doctor. Anything can happen.
Have you recorded any fatality here as a result of the strike?
No.
Mr. Segbefia, after the tour, told the media the strike had been triggered by agitations related to the single spine pay policy, insisting it is illegal.
This blip was partially caused by wages and salaries with single spine. The reason why we have a problem today and we have to have had to go to the IMF is simply because when we were negotiating on single spine, we had a budget of 2-point-something billion for wages. By the time we had negotiated and given partial payments and dealt with everybody's issues, our bill was 8 billion. So that whatever you give A, B is aware, C is aware, you justify it or not as the case may be, you do the calculation across board and you know exactly where you are. When you do it piecemeal, which we've had to do in this case because we had to create a conditions of service, a single document, which the doctors said they didn't have, which is true. We have done that. For the first time, this is a government that has created a conditions of service for the doctors.
But they are not happy with it.
No, there's two different things. If you're negotiating on what is in the conditions of service, is one thing. It's another thing to say, I don't have conditions of service. Now you do. And we are negotiating. All the rest have conditions of service, but we are negotiating. And we are negotiating them at the joint committee. So let's not mix the two things. There is a conditions of service on which we can work now. And this government has done it. After all these years from independence to date, it's been done.
For Joy News, my name is Hannah Odami.
Well, as if this is not disastrous enough, we still have to revisit one, as one more corpse believed to be the 155th victim of the June 3 flood and fire tragedies or disasters that took place here in Accra was retrieved on Monday from one of the buildings near the Goa filling station at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, the epicenter of the disaster.
Well, the discovery comes more than 2 months after the events and just days after the committee which investigated the aftermath of the tragedy presented its report capping the official death toll at 154. The committee also stated that one Seth Kwesi Ofosu should be held liable after a cigarette butt he dropped into the flood water with floating fuel sparked the fire, which eventually caused the massive explosion. Latif Idris, who witnessed the retrieval of the corpse, reports residents in the neighborhood were beginning to cast doubts over the work of the technical committee, which investigated the twin disasters.
It's been over 2 months since the June 3 twin disasters of flood and fire struck the national capital. Now, today the figures would have to change because just this morning a new body has been discovered right here in this building. Now, this building you see behind me used to be a pharmacy shop and was also razed down during the twin disasters. Technical committees have been set up. NADMO officials were here. None could detect this body. It took a scrap dealer to detect this body and report to police officers. The decomposed body of the man was found Monday after residents complained a foul smell was emanating from the pharmacy near the Gold filling station. Their suspicions were confirmed after they made their way into the shop and discovered the body. After calling in the authorities to retrieve the body, however, the residents are beginning to question the Justice Dossier Committee.
It's surprising to hear that maybe after 2 months of this disaster, bodies are still there and they just discovered some. So it shows those in charge, authorities in charge, and the technical people and the committee they set up are incompetent. They are not doing what is expected of them because they should have found all the bodies by now.
It's very, very pathetic that state institutions can come and then make an investigation and then they will not be able to discover such bodies. What I would say is that they should be able to make things very fast.
I think as a nation we should try and find a better way of investigating such matters. If possible, we can introduce snip dogs in our investigations, especially pertaining to dead bodies.
Well, I was very surprised because when it happened on 3rd June, the police was here to carry some of the body away. So I'm really surprised that there are still dead body in it.
The official from the National Disaster Management Organization and personnel from the Ghana Police Service retrieved the body, which they identified as that of a male. The report of the technical committee will have to be updated to include Monday's discovery. It is not clear, however, how that will affect the report in its entirety.
Don't we have sniffer dogs in Ghana?
Yeah, I mean, the question is, what kind of investigation was done? I mean, if there's a report out there already and we're still finding bodies, did they do a proper, thorough search of the entire area?
Well, now we have to speak on another thorny subject, and talking about, well, there's TV behind us, but this is just a screen, just for us to make sure we get the right pictures for you and to do the transition well. But the ones at your home would have to attract some penalties. We call them levies.
Yeah, and an Accra fast-track court has given the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation the go-ahead to collect TV license fees. The ruling against an injunction application that sought to frustrate the corporation from chasing those monies.
And former Chief Executive of the Volta River Authority, Dr. Charles Reku-Brobe, who is challenging the reintroduction of the TV license fee, had asked the court to suspend the collection of the fee until a determination of a substantive suit against it. Well, the court, in its ruling, however, directed the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation that it cannot disburse any of the fees it would collect until the court decides otherwise. Lawyers for both sides seem content with the court's ruling. Our counsel for the GBC was delighted. It says there were a lot of things that needed to be done. And Dr. Charles Reku-Brobe maintains stopping GBC from sharing proceeds with private media organizations is a victory for the rule of law.
An application for injunction seeking to restrain GBC in particular from resuming or commencing the collection of TV lines as it had broadcasted, and the court disagreed with that position. The court thinks that by law, when they themselves admitted that you cannot stop a statutory body such as GBC from performing its statutory duty as mandated by law. But what the court actually said also further is that in terms of the sharing of the proceeds as announced, they should hold on till the determination is made.
One of the reliefs they were seeking to was to, as it were, prevent GBC from sharing the proceeds with, the private media organizations. What's the position of the court?
The court position on that is that is the allegation that Reku-Brobe has made. Reku-Brobe's position is that there's no law backing the sharing. We share a different opinion. That is a political question as to how our taxes are supposed to be used. That is what the court thinks, that for now, hold on to the sharing, come to court, convince us, let the court make a determination on same. So the court has given direction how it should be proceeded from there.
This is a victory for rule of justice and to send a clear signal to GBC that it cannot do as it wishes. We are a nation of laws laws and not a nation of GBC management and what it thinks. The law says that GBC cannot share TV license with anybody. Let GBC use the TV license fees to improve its broadcasting. You share with private TV operators for what? We're all private businessmen. When government collects taxes, does it come and give it to us that because you are holding a microphone, so take and go and use?
We'll see how that goes. She has three television sets in the house. You to pay 3, huh? I'll tell Major Retired John Chebe to come to your house. But taxes on the country's port are expected to come down, or at least be maintained, when the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority takes over valuation of imports from September 1.
Well, Tax Policy Advisor at the Finance Ministry, Edward Labisian, revealed this at a media briefing on the National Single Window Scheme here in Accra.
No government takes joy in overtaxing its people. Once you expand the base, you block the loopholes, and more money is coming in. Even if you can't reduce taxes at all, you are not going to increase. But as I told you, all the first 2 phases of the reforms have ended in taxes being reduced.
Okay, do we have any percentage in mind? And since this is starting 1st September, can we tell ourselves, or can you tell us exactly when we are expected to see this tax reduction?
Oh, well, I'm not a prophet, but maybe after the first year.
Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, George Blankson, maintains the new system adopts a collaborative approach among customs, freight forwarders and other stakeholders to create synergies and enhance trade at the ports with the support of service providers such as GCNet and West Blue. He outlined the features of the new system and its benefits to players at the ports.
The pass will utilize pre-classification and pre-valuation mechanisms to facilitate the importation of goods to Ghana in line with WCO and WTO guidelines to improve the efficiency of customs clearance. This system will replace the FCVR currently generated by the DICs. Ladies and gentlemen, the system will provide, among others, an integrated risk management platform shared by the regulatory agencies, including Food and Drugs Authority, Ghana Standards Authority, Ghana Environmental Protection Agency, and others.
The Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, John Vianney Kudamu, on his part, emphasized his outfit has been ready for the takeover since 2009. He says all the necessary transitional arrangements have been made. This, he said, includes acquisition and installation of relevant logistics, selection and reorientation of staff for the Customs Technical Services Bureau, technical interface with major stakeholders, and test runs which are currently ongoing.
So we'll bring you a lot more updates on this very subject, but that'll be it for the news for the morning.
Yeah, stay with us. We'll come back and check out what's trending for you here on the show. In the meantime, if you want to communicate with us, just go to facebook.com/joynews on TV.